there's been, I don't know what's going on, man. Like it's really been weird of late, but rappers are out here just getting shot like left and right, literally, man. Like it started with King Von in Chicago,
Like
um,
literally?
like literally, um, and then but he was shot in Atlanta outside of a club, and Mo3 from Dallas, who actually the lab here in India just brought him. His last show was in Indianapolis. I didn't realize that till I did some research for that. But his
His
last show was
last post
here.
was from that show.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Or was it I thought his last show was. Oh, I see what you're saying. His last post was from that. I got you. They because I remember one of my guys was telling me they were going to bring him here, and he got shot in Dallas. I believe it was on the highway. And I know Boosie was working closely with him, and they were having like a memorial for him. And Boosie got shot in Dallas, and then I was in Chicago and I saw Benny the Butcher got shot in Houston, like at a Walmart or something. So a lot of these rappers out here, man, and we've had the conversation before. It always comes up when you talk about style of music that rappers choose to rap about and the things they rap about. But I wanted to pose a question to you guys: is it more of the music, the things that these guys live, being in the streets, or just a combination of that and just people getting out here and being desperate because of the times that we're in? Like, I don't know. So I can't really put my finger on it because all this happened within we'll call it 2 or 3 weeks. All this stuff happened to rappers. So I'll just toss it around to you guys and see what you think, man, because it's one thing to say, it's about the lyrical content. Like even Polo G, somebody that rap with King Von, said there's such thing as toxic fans too. They go into it. They play into the equation. So I kind of toss it around and see what you guys think. Is this a sign of the times or the music, or is it a combination of both? Spoolz, talk to me.
Well, first and foremost, it's all extremely sad. Rest in peace to all the
I agree.
People who have lost their lives, that you mentioned, and I'm glad that Boosie and Benny are healing up. No, man, I think it's always kind of been around. It's always kind of been this way, and it might be kind of a mixture of what you just said of those two things. But no, I mean, rappers are targets. They have been forever, man. I was reading this book about about a person, and they mentioned Big Daddy Kane getting robbed in like '88 in the projects in New York City. You know what I mean? Like, it happens, man. Like, that's that. Especially if you got a lot of jewelry. Benny had a lot of jewelry. Boosie, usually has a lot of jewelry. I don't know if he did or not. Maybe I don't even know if that was intended for him when he got shot. I don't know if that's been confirmed or not. But
at first, it said it was like happenstance. He would just happen to be there. But then, yeah.
Obviously, but anyways, like it's super unfortunate. But no, I think it's been around for a while. It's just sad when it happens like boom, 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 like this, because it's happened like this, like you know what I mean, like in like a row. But Texas, man, like that's pretty wild. But no, man, just unfortunate, and just gotta, I guess, if you're in that line of work, I'm not a big Jim Jones fan at all, but he did mention, and I think he said, and he got into it with some like veterans over this, but he said being a rapper is like the #1 most dangerous profession in the world or something like that. But you gotta be careful, man. I mean, somebody shot Young Dolph's car, like over like 100 times with
allegedly
assault rifles. Yeah, allegedly. I mean, it just sadly happens way too often in hip hop and in rap. So, but people live lives too, man. You know what I mean? So, sad.
Very sad. Jay Diff, jump in there.
It's just I don't know exactly what Spoolz said for the most part. I know with King Von, it was some beef between him and Quando Rondo.
Oh,
and
yeah,
they
I
got
heard about
into
that.
it, and somebody on Quando Rondo's side is the one that actually shot King Von in Atlanta, and that's when I believe T.I. said something. Yeah, allegedly. And that's when T.I. had said something, and got everybody up in arms for saying don't come to our city killing each other or whatever. But the whole thing that's going on in Texas is very strange because
Right,
I
right.
believe 𝗀𝗚𝗡𝗂 got shot on that exact same freeway that Mo was shot and killed on.
See, I didn't
And
know
I don't
that
know if
part.
y'all know,
I thought they were
well,
beefing though,
well
right?
Mo and 𝗀𝗚𝗡𝗂 and what's the other? There's another cat. They all were cool at one point in time. They all used to run together.
Okay.
Isn't Rod Wave? Is
Um,
Rod Wave from Dallas?
I'm not sure, but there's another cat that was kind of clicked up with them that that pretty much he gave a shout out to Mo, but it was a sideways shout out. He
Oh,
called
okay.
him like he said like untrue or something like that, something to that effect. I don't know, but it's some crazy shit in the air in Texas right now, and I hope and pray that they get it together out there because I mean, all this shooting and killing each other shit got to stop. It's crazy that you feel like you make it in the
Yeah.
game. When you make it in the game, all of that shit that you grew up around is supposed to be over, but
Right.
it's actually making some of these cats a bigger target. So like you said earlier, Spoolz, shout out to the people involved, the families or whatnot. Definitely rest in peace to all those people. But something's got to give. I mean, it's crazy that it's even though it's been happening, but it seems like there's just an influx of it going on right now.
I mean,
Rod
is it
Wave is in fact not from Dallas. He's
not from
from
Dallas?
St. Petersburg, Florida.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah. Trap Boy Freddy, right on Branson. Sax, that's who it was. Trap Boy
Here
Freddy,
we go.
Yellow
Okay.
Beezy, and Mo. They was all clicked up at one point in time, and they've all made it.
Yeah.
But I mean,
It's crazy,
unfortunately, you
man.
make it and then you end up gone.
Boosie and Mo3 were just on the Hotboxing podcast with Mike Tyson and Aaron
Yeah.
or Evan. I can't
Yeah.
think of his last name, unfortunately. Evan something, but podcast is dope. And yeah, it's crazy, man.
Yeah, man. I like Terry said though, the what's odd is, just the Texas joint, like you said with Texas. Like, think about Benny and then, the other two situations. It's just I don't know what's going on down there. It's rappers and it's all in the same state. Like weird,
Texas
man.
is
It's
really big, but it's just really strange, man, that three of them
yeah.
within like a week.
I don't even know, but if I was to take a guess, Mo3, he got to be what, in his mid-20s? Like King Von was what, 26?
I think it was 26.
No, King Von was 26,
He's 26.
right?
Yeah, Mo3 is 28.
Oh, man.
28, yeah, you're right. King Von was 26. I got him mixed up.
Yeah. And that's tough, man.
Young man.
And you know what? King Von was supposed to be here like within the next week or so.
And that? Oh, that, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What's fucked up with King Von is like, so, you hear all this drill music come out.
Mm-hmm.
What, early, 2010, something like that.
Ish. Yeah. Yeah.
Give or take a couple years. And, or becomes popular, I'll say that. It was probably being done before that. But, and it's like, the area King Von was from, O Block, like they had shit on lock in Chicago for a while, and all those cats have gone and like done their own things now, and like King Von was that like second wave. Now that drill has caught on like in New York, and all that other shit, like he was that second wave from his area. You know what I mean? Like, and he was the man. He was the fucking man.
Dirk
out of
had
there.
actually co-signed him. Yeah, Dirk had co-signed him. He actually took him on the Breakfast Club with him.
Everybody that I know,
that dude could rap, man. Like I know people like to try to shit on drill music, and I understand it's very violent, and don't sit and listen to. I'm too old for that shit. I always feel like, you know what I mean? Like I can't. But I always keep my ear to what's going on, especially in Chicago. And that dude could rap, man. Like, that's not to say somebody who couldn't rap is, anything like that. I'm just saying, like, he was genuinely very talented and shitty, dude. You know what I mean? Like, looked like he was trying to fight somebody. And these days, it's just I guess you really can't do that. I'm not trying to talk like I know what I'm.
That was Quando
that
Rondo
shit's
that he
real,
stole
man.
off on actually in the video. That's who he stole off on was Quando Rondo. But I mean, we just live in a day and age where don't nobody want to shoot the fair one. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
That's what I'm
So
saying, man.
before anything happened or really got going, he was shot. So I mean,
Yeah.
man, you gotta be careful out here. These cats is punks
Just-
out here. What Pop say on Friday?
all you need is
That's all you need.
that's all you need. You live. You live
to fight another day.
Live another.
Dr. John Witherspoon, man. That's my guy. Was you right, man? I was telling in a pre-show, I had just posted about King Von because I heard a joint with him and Police. I was like, okay, to your point, I was like, oh, okay. And the production was cold, and I didn't know too much about him. But then that happened like 2 or 3 days later, man. Like he had that Welcome to O Block album. I was like, let me give this a run because I keep hearing people from Chicago talking about this kid, like, and just unfortunate, man. Now his album's streaming like crazy. You know how that go when a rapper passed, but hopefully all the paperwork and everything was together so his family could benefit from that. That's the goal. Jay Moore, jump in there, man. Just I know we kind of went off a little bit, but just the premise overall, like know about the music, but these times are drastic also.
Well, when you think about just 2020, there was it was a couple months ago, I guess it was another young man from Chicago, an artist who was shot, and then we go back to Pop Smoke. I look at this from two levels, because this affects me personally, even though I don't know these young men, because unfortunately, just over a year ago, a good friend of mine was shot and killed in front of me. I saw him take his last breath at the end of a gunshot over some pointless foolishness. So anytime I hear about somebody in the prime of their life being killed, it affects me in just another way, and it's actually kind of traumatic. I hate hearing it because on the second level is like being the oldest of the new old heads. I see these as people who when Pop Smoke, I'm like, Pop Smoke was only 20, and like that means at 20 years old, this could have been, if I was just out there like that, this could have been one of my kids. So I have to look at it like that, where I see what our youth are going through and the trauma that they're experiencing because, the people that they look up to or enjoy, like it was one thing when we lost Big, and then, we lost Pac, and then we lost Big. That was a sobering moment for us, not only for the culture, but, I remember, they were both older than me, even though they were only 24 and 25. But that was two people, two icons, even in that moment. But, when you think about how many rappers have been shot in the last 3 or 4 years, shot and killed, from XXX to Pop Smoke.
I didn't even think about that. Yep. Good point.
Our youth, and the thing is, like, that's why I never come down hard on the youth, because they're going through a lot right now. And I want them to see, I wish they would have learned more from our example, saw what we went through in the 90s, and been able to be a little bit more above this and see that, look, we're getting money. Like the whole point of us getting into this rap thing is so we don't have to be involved in this street beef and have to pull the guns out. We're supposed to be, on stage and enjoying life and being able to provide for our families. I was hoping maybe, it's almost like it hurts because we're revisiting these same mistakes that we saw in the 90s. Even when we talk about Big L, losing him to street violence, he was on his way.
Good point, man. Big L was definitely on his way.
That's why I thought about when Pop Smoke was killed, because it was like he was right there, and plus in it just makes the game of hip hop look raggedy. And it's not that I'm trying to like come down. Once again, I don't want people to think I'm coming down on the youth, because if anything, they need our guidance and they need our support. But you know, think about it. If I'm one of these people who's trying to book something for a venue, or I'm trying to have these people on different award shows or whatever, it's like, you know what, it's just not worth it, because they're constant targets. People are shooting around them or at them. I don't want it's getting to the point where we're going to get back into that place to where it's not worth it to have hip hop around. That's how there are going to be people who feel. And so I don't want it to get back to that place.
That's a good point. I didn't think about that. That's a good point from a standpoint of jeopardizing the ability to have shows and things like that, because of things like this start continuously happening, people losing their lives. Like, you know, always talking in hip hop, you always hear the phrase messing up the bag. Like, that messes the bag up when you bring the violence to these places, and they don't want to bring they don't want to have you come to the video because of the entourage and because of the attention that it's going to bring and the possibility of negativity, like messing up the bag, literally.
And also you got to look at it like this, you know, and this is where I saw with the Benny the Butcher situation. I'm glad he's resting up and he's all right. But I think rappers got to move a different way, because the streets are hungry. And, you know, if you out here with your chains and you in a Bentley, and I hate to bring this kind of street talk into it, you're looking like food to a lot of these people who haven't seen any money in 6 or 7 months because of this COVID thing.
That's my point.
People are desperate.
That's my point.
You know, people are willing to take penitentiary chances to feed their families right now. Like,
that's where I was going with it.
Everybody doesn't have that sense of morality where you look, you know, I'm not gonna rob my brother just so I could do this. They'd be like, yo, I'm gonna put bread on my table one way or another, and if I gotta shoot you in the leg and snatch your chain to do it, that's what I'm gonna do. I don't even think it's about people just looking for clout. Some of these people are looking for their next meal, and that's what a lot of you rappers look like. I mean, I shout out to my man Bomani Jones. He says something like, I don't go out of the house often, but I certainly do not wear my Rolex out of the house, you know, when I do go out, because it's real out here and people are really hurting.
If you've enjoyed this segment of the New Old Heads podcast, make sure to join our live show every Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern at twitch.tv/bringingdowntheband, and join our private Discord community with talks on hip hop, music, news, and everything else.